This is the CW Spiral, a podcast run by three survivors of the CW's calling in 2022. We're your hosts, Sabrina Reed,
Michael Patterson.
And Reed Gowdens.
bringing you history about the network and the WB, the latest news and in-depth Sporterville discussions of the best and messiest shows to ever grace the small screen. Ooh, okay. So, we're back. As we promised, I believe we said online or either in one of our bumper episodes that we were going to be reviewing Superman and Lois's final season premiere. So that is what we are here for. We have seen it, and I would say I got my life. What about you, Michael?
Oh, 100%. Look, I remember being on this podcast after the season three finale, and it was like, we need season four's premiere yesterday. Well, we actually watched season four premieres yesterday, and it was something else entirely. You talk about an emotional roller coaster. You talk about starting the season strong. You talk about making an impact. I think from what I've been like watching from the fans over the last year, while they wait it, while they anticipate it, while they wanted something that sums up what Superman and Lois is about, but also pays tribute to the comics, I think that's exactly what they're going to get from the season four premiere.
I think so too. There's just something so it sucks you in
Yeah.
because if you know what they've been teasing this entire time, and what I believe I was excited about at the end of the season three finale is, as I'm just gonna say this, it's the death of Superman. That's what Todd Helbing has said. I believe, Michael, you had mentioned that Tyler Hoechlin was online saying that's what it is. So it is gonna be heart-wrenching. If you've seen the trailer, you know that too. Once again, Bitsy Tulloch, masterclass. Like, I don't think we could praise her anymore. Like, I really do not think we could. It's just she's always showing us what she has in the bag when it comes to her talent. I think this season is going to be really rough, not just for like the audience, but for the Kens
Hmm.
and like what it means to navigate this world without Clark. Like, it's just and like it takes the wind out of the sails. But there's also an exciting element to that prospect. Like what is this world without him when what's left is his legacy?
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, you don't have to be a Superman fan to know that the death of Superman is one of the biggest storylines the Man of Steel's ever been involved in. And we've seen adaptations of it before. Smallville toyed with it. Batman versus Superman tried to adapt it as closely as it could. So for a show like Superman and Lois to adapt it as well, like, again, it's no secret that they're adapting this. We mentioned that it was mentioned at Comic-Con. We mentioned that the video of Tyler Hoechlin online literally described the season in three words as death of Superman. So like, we know what we're getting when we go into this. And you said you get your life from the season premiere. You absolutely do. Like, it's it's so Superman at Lois, but also, as the show has been known to do, it pays tribute to the comics as well. And like, w sometimes when I see a scene, even if it's in a trailer and you know to expect it, the actual scene itself doesn't what's that word? It's not as residual with me. It doesn't resonate with me
Mm-hmm.
as much because you know it's coming, or you've seen part of it, or you've seen the clip, or whatever. Multiple scenes from this premiere have been shown. The battle with Doomsday was released at Comic-Con. The that scene in the Smallville town square, I'll not describe it in case you haven't seen it, was the big part of the season four trailer. And wow, when you see them in context, it hits you even harder. It's like incredible. First of all, the battle with Doomsday, the CGI for a CW show, for a show on network television is, no pun intended, out of this world. Yes, they're fighting on the moon. But like, we knew to expect something big when the season three finale concluded, and it would have been very easy for them, especially with a limited budget, to kind of jump over that, skip over that, kind of find some episodic way to avoid that. We've seen this on the Arrowverse before. Remember Flashpoint, people? Remember? Um, they didn't do that here. You know the battle's coming. The battle was released online, and that's obviously not all of the battle. The way they like seed it into the episode, the way it still manages to capture your attention, just like the season three finale did. And then as you experience what's going on parallel to that and the aftermath of it, and as from the other characters in the premiere, you have to talk about the acting, like you just said. Like that's one of the things that really resonated with me because we know how amazing Bitsy Tulloch is. We absolutely do. But like I said, from the season four trailer, hinting that we're going to see some more of that, and then actually getting to see it in context, give this woman all the Emmys in the world. Absolutely divine performance that gets more divine, gets better with age. Like she's four seasons in now and she's delivering some of her finest work of her entire career. Um, I know the fans are going to love this and it's going to be an emotional roller coaster for them.
Yeah, what's interesting, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is the first uh season premiere that Superman and Lois has done where we were starting literal minutes after
Yeah,
the end of the finale, and it manages to keep that tension
without a
of what's
doubt.
going on. It's so we're in crisis, but it's the type of crisis where you feel helpless, right? Because
Hmm.
you're not with the focus of the story changes to our everyday heroes are the ones that are grounded, with exception to Jordan, because Jordan's around too. But like it is very much this premiere, it with exception to the battle between Doomsday and Clark, it's very human.
Yes.
Like it really is an example of what it's like to wait.
Hmm.
And because they are waiting. I'm not really sure. I think what is it, like a few, do we get through a full day?
That is a good question. There's a lot of time that passes without a doubt. Um, and it definitely it leads into that as well because we watched the season three finale multiple times. Um, and the those last 5 minutes are terrifying. The tension that builds up. I love that word you use, the tension that builds up. And then you get to see that again in the season four premiere. The fact that they managed to recapture that feeling, yes, some of it's obviously recycled footage from the finale, but a lot of it is new footage. Most of it's new footage. And you're right. I think that was one of the most powerful parts of it. And because you get to focus more on the cast members who are still full-time members of the show, you get to see more about that rather than jumping around through other points of view. Um, one of my favorite things about the season premiere, and looks to be season four in general, is that you get to see more of Jonathan and Jordan scenes because I always think that's some of the best work on the show, but it's also some of the stuff we don't see as much of. Jonathan and Jordan, I assume, are going to obviously spend a lot more time together because they don't have as many characters around them now, full time at least. Um, and from the season four premiere, you can see that's going to pave the way for some powerful storytelling because these two brothers are incredibly close, but they're also incredibly different and they're there for each other in different ways. And yeah, I think they're going to need to lean on each other a lot this season, and I'm excited to see what that looks like.
For sure. I think that what is interesting about the brothers is that Jordan has the powers, but Jonathan has the patience and the brain.
Yeah.
And that like that really flexes itself in the premiere in very interesting ways. Oh, I cannot wait till people see it because
Yeah.
this is a two-part premiere. So if you guys are tuning in, it's a 2 hour block.
Hmm.
When it premieres on, was that Monday, October 7th?
7th.
So it's from 8 to 10. Yeah, you'll want to be there for both episodes. But there's something so intriguing about the Kent twins
Hmm.
and the decisions they're making and why they're making certain decisions that will in some ways anger you, but also sort of get a better understanding of just how different they are. And how I think the people who wish that Jonathan had been the one to get the powers are going to feel that even more so
Hmm.
as this season goes in. We already know that Jordan's a hothead.
Hmm.
And he doesn't really think. To be fair, though, the teens in general do not do a lot of thinking. We plan, we do things, then we're shocked at the consequences,
Every
even though
time.
even though we were warned. So that is, I I have to say it. I do wish Jonathan was the one to get the powers. I storytelling wise, I get why they did not do that because
Hmm.
of course the one who's most like Clark and most like Lois isn't the one who's been gifted. And I don't like, I'm excited. I think I'm most excited for Jonathan's arc this
Hmm.
season for that very reason. Like, what does that, like, what does that mean? In a world in which all of us have to step up, how do I step up?
Yeah. And I feel like with season three, one of my issues with it was that Jonathan never really got enough focus. Because they took him out of some of the super storylines and gave him some more human stuff, which is always a great platform for storytelling. But it kind of felt like a subplot and didn't get the focus. And I know Jonathan in season two had a lot going on. Jonathan in season one had a lot going on. So maybe they decided to rest the character in a supporting role. One of my favorite things about this season now that with more focus on the core four of the Kent Lane family is that we'll get to see more of Jonathan and see what that looks like. Because at the end of the day, this is the final season. We're coming towards what everyone's arc's been building towards. How will it service their overall arcs in the end? And I feel like Jonathan really stands to benefit from a great storyline that shows his inner strength, if you know what I mean. Because yes, I agree. I love what you said. Jordan obviously has physical strength, but Jonathan is very much like Lois in that he's like that quiet, inner strength person, and that the powerful one can rely on the quieter, calmer, more human one. I always go back to what Lois said in season one that they're the extraordinary humans in a family of super people, and you definitely get to see that. Jonathan's a teenager and he's going to act out a bit. That's normal, but at his heart, he's a very strong, caring, and compassionate young man, and Jordan needs someone like that in his life to navigate him, because you know how, like you said, the word hothead, you can see how he can fly off the handle, no pun intended with fly, whenever he feels he needs to do something. Um, so they're a lot like Clark and Lois in that capacity, in that yes, we have a super person, but we also need an extremely grounded person to ground to be the foundation for that super person. And I feel like now with the extended screen time, we're definitely going to see that a lot more for Jonathan and Jordan going forward.
It's exciting. And
It
then
is.
there's this great scene with the brothers in the first episode of the premiere in which they do have a discussion about their different temperaments. And I'm just like, Jonathan, I love you. Like I really do. Like he's the calm in the storm.
Mhm.
I do like the ways in which they've grown him to be someone who thinks a lot, and he only deals with what's on his plate at the moment without like letting his mind catastrophize.
Yep.
And I think that's exceptional. Like it's just really I really like this season so far for him.
Yeah.
And I really, really hope they keep up the momentum with that. To like if season four ends up being the best Jonathan season, that'd be like really great. Aside from like the twins, the Clois is immaculate.
Yeah.
Like it is, I did not expect to get, I think we can talk about this, so many flashbacks.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and
Right.
I was just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. We knew some Daily Planets flashbacks were coming. Um, and I mean, did they deliver? Yes, they did. Um, we should have known that this would be a nostalgic season by the title of the premiere being "It Went By So Fast," which is obviously the picture that's in the Kent house. Um, oh yeah, oh yeah. If you're watching this show for Cloas, you're gonna get everything you ever wanted.
yeah, yeah, that's the like, I want to keep a lid on it because it just explodes out as a shipper. I'm just like,
Hmm.
wow. Like to
Powerful.
describe the Clovis in this premiere, wow, just really wow.
Yeah, I mean, like, I love this couple so much. N nobody doing it like them. Both in comic accuracy and just in like good old-fashioned dramatic television. They're just wonderful to watch. Bitsy and Tyler are wonderful to watch, and that certainly hasn't changed in the season four premiere.
Like not at all. I think what was been great about Superman and Lois, and I think Todd Helbing is just like great at this in general. The allowance and room for romance.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think that's something that there is sometimes a struggle when it comes to superhero content. Like you get a lot of vibe, right? Like but the romances aren't always well done. In uh in Superman and Lois, it's really, really is. And which is hard too with an established couple because
Mm,
there's no there's no that butterflies, early tension as they try to figure each other out. No, they're settled and they're married and they're very deeply in love. And I think each season has just really shown the way you can do a well done established couple who've been together for um, well over a decade, who have children and who are navigating life together. Um, all the ups and downs. I think that Superman and Lois has done that fantastically.
Yeah, 100%. That's the thing. Like, soaps struggle with established couples or keeping couples together for a long time because it's very easy to come up with been there, done that kind of conflict in order to separate them because the television rule is that it's always more exciting to see a couple get together than it is to see them together. Um, Superman and Lois has never had that problem. The one thing I do love about the show is that the couple and family dynamic enhances the show. It doesn't take away from the storytelling. That all that stuff, all those moments between Clark and Lois is equally, if not more important than whatever's going on with Lex Luthor, whatever's going on with Doomsday, Morgan Edge, whoever the villain is. Ali Alston had to throw her in, can't leave her out. Whatever's going on in the world or the universe of Superman and Lois still is shares the spotlight with whatever's going on behind those closed doors in the Kent house. And that's what this show is. We've said how Bitsy refers to it as Friday Night Tights. I think that's what Superman and Lois's legacy is going to be because it's not just another superhero show. Yes, it absolutely tells those superhero stories better, if not as good as the best of the genre. But at the same time, what makes it unique, what is its unique selling point, is that it's also a family drama, and it's one of the best damn family dramas on TV, and it will be for a very long time to come.
Exactly. Which is why it's sad that we're losing it. Like, it's just
Right.
really sad that we're losing it. But I will say there is a piece of family drama that I definitely don't care about. And it
Okay.
is Lex's sob story.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
the origin of like this whole villain arc for him. I'm like, sir, I don't care. Like, so because he is railing, in the premiere, and he's talking a lot about, what he's going to do to ensure that he gets the revenge he believes Lois deserves. And I am out here watching him like opine about, I think is her name Elizabeth, his
Yep.
daughter. And I'm like, I get that you were wrongfully imprisoned, but you are also a terrible man.
Right.
Like I sympathize with being wrongfully imprisoned. I do. Should not have been imprisoned for that crime, but definitely should have been in prison. So
Yeah.
I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, right. And I'm glad you brought Lex up because we do have to talk. Michael Cudlitz just delivers an absolutely chilling performance as Lex Luthor. Um, I think that really works for the character because Lex Luthor is kind of like a narcissistic, self-serving, odious human being. I was going to go on, but I probably shouldn't. We have a limited time. A human being, and but of course he's the kind of person to think, "Oh, you did me wrong," completely irrespective of the fact that he's done so many people wrong, completely irrespective of the fact that he deserved to be in prison, completely irrespective of the fact that he's murdered people. So I mean, like, you're telling me that's not someone who deserves to be behind bars. So that's a very Lex Luthor thing to do. Yes, I did all that, but per me, because I didn't deserve this. I think they got the characterization down to perfection, but at the same time, it's not the same suave billionaire businessman that you see in other adaptations. This is a terrifying individual who is willing to do anything. And while Lex Luthor tends to keep his cards close to the vest, this one this one is telling everybody what he's going to do, and he has no gripes with doing so. I think that's going to make him a perfect villain for the final season. I cannot wait to see how the Superman versus Lex Luthor iconic rivalry plays out. But the thing that makes me even more excited is that, yes, Superman is Lex Luthor's archenemy, but so is Lois Lane, and I can't wait to see the dynamic between him and Bitsy because, oh, they have an incredible back and forth. I'm so excited for the direction of the season. I really am.
I think what you mentioning Bitsy, what's so great about her when they let her do um fearless,
Hmm.
she does not care. And I think that is so great when you do that with one of the humans on a show, right? Because
Yeah.
it shows an example of no, there are humans who are just as reckless and just would not, I don't care who you are. the story is happening.
Hmm.
Like, I think that's what makes her such a great hero too.
Oh, without a doubt.
Is that is that she can stand up to the bad guy and be like, "Do you think I'm shrinking? Because I'm not." Yeah. Though I do have one qualm, not with her, but with Lex. I believe this is one of the stills, so we can talk about this. His 70s hair.
It's a look.
It's a
It's a
look.
look.
It's a look. And I'm confused because it falls out of the at least I think so the 40s uh element of the flashbacks because they always look a bit like 30s 40s, but
Hmm.
his hair looks 70s, and I would like to know why. I wonder if we're going to get more flashbacks that explain this do of his because it's it's a choice.
Yep.
It's a strong choice.
Yep. It very much is. It makes a statement. Um, I guess it's maybe just, as you know, differentiate between the timelines because, like, let's be honest, the characters in Superman and Lois are essentially ageless. Not as ageless as the characters in The Flash, who still look exactly the same in 70 years in the future, but the characters in Superman and Lois look virtually the same as they did in the past. So they obviously we have Lois obviously in her Daily Planet suits back in the past, whereas now she has her more modern, stylish kind of look that works in Smallville. We have Clark with his typical Clark Kent waistcoat, whereas now he kind of like he dresses more like a coach or like a townsman, a normal person, and living in a small town. Um, so maybe this is Lex's deciding factor. We'll always know what timeline Lex is in, no matter if we even if we get confused by the flashbacks, just because of how different he looks in those scenes.
With hair and without hair. This
Yeah,
is
exactly.
how
I know
that's going.
exactly where this is set.
It's just so funny. But to end our spoiler-free review, watch.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
it's just this is going to be a great season. You can tell that off the bat through the premiere. It'll be interesting to see how they keep everything tight for this small
Mhm.
10 episodes. Because that's a small that's like I wonder if they're gonna play by streaming rules. Because 10 episodes for network TV is really short.
Mhm.
So we'll see how they carry it, but we're starting strong.
Without a doubt. Larger than life, cinematic, heartfelt, incredible, thought-provoking. I could go on, but I'm not going to. This is everything Superman and Lois fans love about the show and so much more. You're not ready, but please do tune in anyway.
Yes, so Monday, October 7th at 8 p.m. Be there, and I will also be live tweeting from our CW Spiral account. And so,
Yeah.
one last live tweet spree for the road.
Yeah, yeah. One more before we fly off into the sunset with Superman at Lois. I'm ready and I've already seen the episode. I can't wait to see what everyone else thinks of it.
It'll be so fun. But thank you guys for watching and for listening. We're the CW Spiral. Oh,
Thank
I'm
you.
Sabrina.
And I'm Michael.
Repeat that. Bye, y'all.
Bye.